Welcome to this video, and it's the third video looking at making a ruler here using Techsoft Design. And we're going to be adding some text and then finishing off by adding some color codes so the laser cutter knows what to do when you send it for laser cutting. Okay, now in terms of adding text, I've got a PDF here. Our photocopiers scan as PDFs. So let's just make sure they go full size there. And I'm going to select 2 or 3 samples of this text and see how it comes out in our Techsoft CAD file. So first of all, let's take this text here. Now, before I go any further, what I want to do with this is zoom in. So I think if I control wheel mouse, I can zoom in here. Yes, or I can go to the little plus and minus down there. And the goal here is to try and make this as large as I can so I get maximum resolution. So here we go. I'm going to do a screen capture. For me, that's Windows Shift and S. And I'm now going to put a bounding box around my text. Now, as before, I'm going to just click anywhere with this, and then I'm going to make sure I reference that bottom right-hand corner. Now I release, and then, whoops, I made a mess there, didn't I? And then Windows Shift and S again, and then I can drag that up and capture what I want. Okay, that's great. That's now in the computer clipboard memory, which means it's ready for me to paste across. So let's minimize this. Let's now come into Paint.net and let's paste that in. Now I want to rotate this round, and you'll notice that I've already got a tool here called Radial Lock that I haven't mentioned yet. And I keep that on because that allows me basically to rotate things and snap them into 45-degree rotations. So to make that work, what you need to do is right click on it and make sure you tick the box only active on line drawing and marquee box rotations. If I have that turned off by mistake, then now every time I'm drawing a line, it's messing me around. Okay, so I need to make sure that I turn that on with only active on line drawing and marquee box rotations. Now I've rotated that round now using this rotate tool at the end here. So I'm just click, move, and click. And then now I'm going to go ahead and do my vectorization of this. Monochrome again, I can control my luminance, make sure I'm happy with the thickness of the lines, click on OK. Again, custom settings. Now in this case, there's not much difference, but I'll do it anyway. And then now I can take this text, right click, maintain the proportions, scale it down, and then bring it onto my ruler and place it where I want it to be. Okay, now let's just have a look. You'll notice here it's slightly wonky. So maybe what I might want to do here is turn Radial Lock off, rotate it slightly so that it is more in line with what I want, and then I would put Radial Lock back on again. Let's have a look at another graphic in here. I'm going to keep on coming down here and find something else. Now I'm going to take, let's take this one here and see how this turns out. So let's just zoom in a bit more here. Is that too much? No, I've got it. Windows Shift S. Let's proceed. Yeah, I haven't quite captured everything there. So let's just stop there. Windows Shift S again. Drag that across. Now I've captured everything that I need. Okay, let's now come back to Techsoft. Let's paste that in. I'm going to zoom out here, spin that around, scale it down, bring it in. Okay, let's go ahead and do our vectorization of this. Monochrome. Okay, and what I'm going to try and do now here is thicken these lines up, because if I leave it as it is in the middle of the luminance value, it's going to be too thin. And when I laser cut this, it won't really show clearly as a laser engraved image. So try and thicken that up there. Click on confirm. Maximum resolution again there using the custom settings. There, I've tried to make those lines as thick as I can, and then now bring this in. Perhaps just rotate it a little bit there. Now I've got to make sure I turn off Radial Lock there to rotate it, excuse me. That looks good. Okay, bring that in, and then I can pop that in as well. Now, obviously, I only want to have one text on my ruler. It's only going to belong to one person. But this text for Emma will, I think, engrave much better than the text here for Tommy. And my advice is to make sure that you draw a font style, you develop a font style, which has got thicker lines. It's going to look much better. And the same thing here goes for any graphics you put on here. You want to make sure you get nice thick lines to the graphics. It's going to look far more effective. Okay, there's one more thing I need to do here, and that is I need to configure this file for laser cutting. Now, what I'm actually going to do at this point, and remember this is not finished, I've not got all my numbers on here yet, but what I'm going to do is, I've not talked about saving, have I? Do make sure that you save your file regularly. And when you're saving, make sure you go to Save As, and make sure that you give it a file name that makes sense and you know where you are saving to. Now, at this point in time, we don't have any home drives left. My home drive is still here, but I think, oh, it still seems to be working, but we don't have a home drive. So what you might want to do here is save it onto the local hard disk, and then you'll need to back it up onto Google Drive. That would be one solution, or you might have a USB key that you can save it onto, but you need to make sure that you save your file securely and safely to somewhere that you know where to find it next time. Anyway, make sure you save it regularly. I should have mentioned that right at the start of this sequence of videos, this playlist. Okay, let's now have a look at adding colors, and then this set of tutorials for making a ruler is finished. With the selection tool, I'm going to put a bounding box around my ruler. I'm going to Control C copy. I'm going to make sure gridlock's turned on, very important, and then Control V paste. And I'm going to now click on the move icon and bring this down and position it below. I'm going to do this because I want to leave this file untouched and then basically configure this file right here. Okay, so now to do that, I am going to be using, first of all, I need to talk about how this is going to work. Okay, so I've just accessed here a poster that we have, which shows you how we're working with Techsoft Design. And basically, we're working with three colors, although there's a fourth available. But the main colors are, we've got blue. Now, this is pure blue. So no red, no green. RGB is 0 red, 0 green. 255 blue, which is basically full blue in the RGB settings here. It's an 8-bit color code system. And then for lines, anything you want to have engraved by the laser cutter is going to be pure green. And anything that you want to have engraved as a solid rather than just a line needs to be filled in black. So that's going to be our reference for color coding our ruler. Now, having said that, you can also do your lines in red as well. So you could do red 255, green 0, blue 0. But any other hues of blue or shades of blue or green or black or red aren't going to work. So let's have a see how that's going to have a look in here. Now, there's several ways I can do this. I could select the outline of this ruler, and I could go to the Align Color button here, and I could select on here the color I want it to be. Now, there are lots and lots of colors here that I could work with, but I'm only going to be working with these custom colors down here because these are my pure colors. So I want to have this in blue. And if I actually just click on define custom color, I can see that that is red 0, green 0, and blue is 255. So that means it's that pure blue color. If I click on OK there and then click off, I can see I have made that line blue. Another way I can do that as well is I could come to my, I've just undone that by the way. I could come to my contour tool here. I could go with a graphical contour, 0mm spacing, and then click with blue, click just wide of that line, and it now draws a contour around that ruler. So that's another way of doing it. Oops, I've just moved the black line away and left the blue one. Anyway, that's how I normally do things, like contour things. But there's nothing wrong with you just selecting that line and just making it blue. Now let's have a look here at the ruler markings here, because These want to be red or green. So I'm going to click and drag a bounding box around those. And then I need to come to color options again, line color, and I need to make sure that that is either going to be red or green. Either one works because, again, if I go to custom colors, I can see that's 0 red, 0 blue, and full green. Okay, let's confirm that there, and they are now going to be engraved. But as I say, you could also do those in red if you wanted to as well. And then all of the text here and the images, so I say the scanned text and the pictures I've got, they've all got a black fill. So they're going to work absolutely fine. And all the numbers that I've also inserted on my centimeter markings here, they're also filled in black as well. So if I go to the fill option here, I can see that that is solid black. So that now effectively, oh, hang on a second. Let's make sure my outline there is blue. That now is ready for me to send to the laser cutter. There's one final thing I'm going to do here with this before saving it and sending it to the laser cutter. I'm going to select everything and I'm going to go to edit and group. And what this does is means now that that is all one solid, not solid object, it's now selectable as one object. Whereas before this image, all my parts are individual. This CAD file here, I click anywhere and it selects the whole thing. That can now be sent to the laser cutter and that will be looking great. Okay, that's the end of these tutorials. I hope that that was useful. Have fun making your ruler.